You know, we've watched sadness and horror as law enforcement has come under attack in Dallas and in Baton Rouge. Mood in our country, let's face it, it's pretty bad right now. And it got us to wondering how local law enforcement prepares for something like this, how to keep it from escalating to this tipping point. Our usual segment with Major Chad is on Thursday, but we thought it was important to talk about this sooner than later this week. So Chad Chronister with us today. Hey, good to see you. It's been a long time. Nice to see you, man.
I know, a couple of weeks off. You had a great vacation?
I did, thank you. Good. Hey, we're going to talk about what the HCSO is doing to try and prevent this from escalating. But right out of the gate, I want to ask you, what are you doing for your deputies right now to make certain they're safe out in the field?
That's a great question. Any type of suspicious call, we're sending 2 deputies to every call, just to make sure. When it's unfounded, the deputy can go on to the next call. But we've beefed up the department by bringing on off-duty deputies to come in and help out, pay them overtime. We've issued and trained our deputies and provided them with some rifles. We want to make sure they at least are able to meet the force that may be deployed against them. Yes, they have to be able to protect the community, and they have to have the proper tools. So the sheriff spent the money to to arm them properly. So I think that's important. And other than that, being out in the community more than ever, being at those churches, being out in all these community events, and just making sure the community knows we're there. It's not a us and them. It's us. We're all in this together.
You brought some things that, as a result of what has happened, there's been this outpouring of support for law enforcement. And you brought a few things this morning. I mean, you've gotten cards, you've got banners, you've got posters, all kinds of things, right?
The support has been overwhelming. Russell, tremendous. From people who stand out on the side of the road in front of our police departments holding a thank you sign, from all the food. And too many snacks and too many treats and pies and cookies and brownies. I mean, our deputies are going to have to hit the treadmill an extra hour a day. But
that's all right.
But it's certainly worth it. Parents coming in with their children, and children handing the deputies cards that they've taken time to draw pictures. Overwhelming.
I'm seeing some things right now. Some really up on the screen right now, Chad. Some really neat things of some of the support that's been coming up. Look at that.
Russell,
bill paid. Look at that. It was a bill paid, a food bill paid.
At lunches, I was going to say there was one of the deputies was telling me yesterday that someone came up to him and bought their lunch and then came up and prayed with them and started crying. I mean, I think that's what makes Tampa Bay so special. Yeah. It is different.
Well, this is the letter you wanted to share.
I want to share this letter. This comes from a teenager, and she sent this to us, and she goes, "I wish the world understood that you say goodbye to your family just like everyone else does. But whether you ever get to say hello again depends largely in part to the actions of the world." This is a teenager, one of our teenagers who brought this to one of our departments.
Wow.
I mean, amazing. Look, hung this on, came to the police station and hung this on every single car.
Are you serious?
Every single car in the parking lot. You know, this is a church that did this. I mean, the support has been overwhelming. And I say this because it's in times like this that makes it that much easier to put your uniform on and walk out that door and go to work. And that's what makes Tampa Bay so special.
I want to ask you about, and you've alluded to it already, but I want to pursue it with you just a little bit before we have to go. When you and I talked about this yesterday, one of the things you want to stress is that what you all hope at the HCSO is the groundwork that you have done in advance in the community will keep something like what's happened in Dallas or Baton Rouge from happening here.
Absolutely. We work hard every day to reduce any type of likelihood that there may be a divide. And it's being out there in the community. We're one of the few agencies that has a community outreach division solely dedicated to community outreach. It's out there in the charities, helping people's lives, making them better. We're at 5 Boys and Girls Clubs. We've helped open 5 Boys and Girls Clubs, and we staff them with a deputy. You know, we're in every middle school, every high school, and now 40 elementary schools. And just to show you the impact, we're 230 deputies short on the street. Yet it's that important that our sheriff says we're going to be in every high school, every school, and be at every Boys and Girls Club. And it's to forge that bond. It's to build that positive interaction and relationship, because we know without trust, we're not going to be an effective law enforcement agency.
And I know we have to go, but the one thing I also want to say is you're also doing sensitivity training with your officers as well, right?
Absolutely, and that's a phenomenal point. I'm glad you brought it up. And again, it's the culture of the office. It's training, making sure our deputies, that we have the most professional deputy out there. They're going to sensitivity training. They're going to that de-escalation training, racial profiling training. They're going to that training. And they know that the sheriff has a zero tolerance towards any type of prejudicial actions. And I think that's important.
Hey, thanks for coming in 2 days early. I've missed you. I love you, and thanks for doing this. This is important. We got it out there.
Thank you again, and thank you to everybody for the outpouring support. On behalf of all the 4,000 employees at the Sheriff's Office, again, thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Jen.
Wow, great segment. Thanks, Russell. More heat and scattered showers. Dave's next with a look at the forecast. And don't throw money